We have Take-Two and PlayStation at it again. That's right, the two greediest companies in the industry right now, and that's saying something, are back at it talking about how they're going to keep progressing digital, how they could have charged more money for GTA 6, and how everything going on within the industry is not really their fault, they're just going where the consumer is. This is even after multiple studios have talking about putting their games on discs, including a PlayStation first-party studio, and all of this wrapped into a nice little bow of Sony actually running into legal troubles with Don't Kill Games. So there's a lot going on here, and we're going to jump into everything, and it feels kind of funny how Take-Two and Sony are under fire, yet making more money than they ever have before, because let's be real, gamers aren't really caring, and the ones that are being very vocal are being ignored by the companies. Let's get into why this is happening and why Take-Two and Sony are going to still get their cake and eat it too. Let's get into it. Hey, thanks for joining me, and if you liked the video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, helps out the channel more than you know. So we all know what's going on with PlayStation and Sony. They are going to kill physical games, and everybody's heard this story before. It's going to stop by January 2028. Yet, right now, what's happening is a lot more than people think. The Stop Killing Games initiative that's going on across Europe and everywhere else is actually running into Sony, saying that they are going to monopolize a lot of the digital market because they have gotten rid of physical games and other third-party ways of buying games. Yeah, you heard me right. And if you don't believe me, let's just jump into the article to see what they have to say about it. Stop Killing Games joins lawsuit against Sony over its total control of PlayStation Store pricing. Both Stop Killing Games and Does It Play are lending their support to a lawsuit against the digital monopoly. Stop Killing Games, which defines itself as a decentralized global initiative demanding legal consumer protections against the intentional destruction of video games, and game preservation advocate Does It Play, have announced that they're officially supporting Stitching, Massachade, and Consummate's Fair PlayStation collective lawsuit against Sony in the Netherlands, which accuses the multinational conglomerate of inflicting a Sony tax on PlayStation owners by limiting sales of PlayStation games solely to its own digital storefront. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. They are going to have a monopoly on the games and the consoles that are in Europe because, let's be real here, a lot of consoles in Europe are not there. And what I mean by that is that Xbox doesn't really have a big base in Europe, neither does Nintendo. I mean, they might, but everybody knows that Jim Ryan, at the time of the PS4 generation, dominated Europe. It's one of the big reasons why he won the job over Sean Layden, because he absolutely annihilated the European market with PlayStations. He took them out there and just took over everything. And because of that, they have a really good stronghold on every country within the EU. And now that that's happened, they're going to have a monopoly on the console space of where people can buy games. And so they're not having it anymore. And just to wrap it up, let's get back into the article to see a little bit more details of what that means. As originally covered by Games Radar, Stop Killing Games and Does It Play revealed their collaboration with SMNG's lawsuit in a post on X last night. SKG and Does It Play are announcing that we're backing SMNC's lawsuit against Sony over its total control of PlayStation Store pricing, stated SKG on its official YouTube channel. We're putting our full weight behind SMNC's case with the Dutch court. SMNC has to show the court it actually represents gamers, not just claims to. Our support backs that up globally. Every Dutch gamer who signs on backs it up directly. And that's what's going to happen. We all know that Sony is going to try to monopolize what they can do and what they can control. And it's kind of funny that this is happening right around the time where they announced those physical games going away, and how a lot of games really want to push you towards buying digital games. And it's not just Sony doing this. This is obviously multiple companies within the industry that want you to go full digital so they can get rid of that market and control how much they can charge you, the gamer, for those games. And there's all these other things happening within the industry that CEOs are really backing this up, and even saying things like, if you really like physical, you would pay more for it. Yeah, CEOs have said that multiple times, and a lot of developers have actually mentioned that also, that if they really care about physical games, they're willing to pay more for it. I can't believe that's being said, to be quite honest, because we pay a lot of money. Gamers already pay an exorbitant amount of money for these games. And Nintendo putting their games at $80, GTA putting their game at $100, which we'll talk about later, and all these other companies, including Xbox, that try to make the Outer Worlds 2 $80, have gotten backfire for it. Yet those big games like Nintendo just don't care, and they haven't changed what they're going to do. And then GTA 6 hasn't changed what they're going to do either. That means Sony's going to be following that narrative, not changing what they're doing and actually putting warning signs on the consoles being sold today that they will not support discs after 2028. It's a very, very, very great strategy. And the way they're doing this is systematically taking every single thing down and then actually using a lot of the media and the people within the media saying, well, if you cared, you'd pay more. Well, you know what? Digital is really 90% of the market. And all these CEOs saying their 2 cents to try to convince you that this is okay. Yet I'm glad this lawsuit's going through, because I think personally that there needs to be some regulations, and I also think that they need to start respecting gamers' purchases and making sure that our digital rights are protected. If we own a game, we can do what we want with it digitally, not redistribute it, not sell it, obviously, but keep it to the point where we can continuously play them and then have a physical form if that's what you want. It doesn't mean that you just have to pay more for it. How have you been making money for the entire generations that gaming's been around? Obviously, they're just trying to squeeze as much money out of you as they can, and it's a test hub to show that. And the funny thing is, a lot of people like Take-Two CEO has mentioned that, you know what, we can't fit big games on discs. That's just not going to happen. And then we have Insomniac Games talking about Wolverine. Yeah, follow me for a second. About Wolverine being completely playable on their disc. Here's what's said. Marvel's Wolverine will be fully playable on the disc at launch for PS5, Insomniac Games confirms. The studio says there will be a day one patch with some fixes, but the entire game can be played from the disc. Dude, it's like a civil war inside. And a lot of people looked at this and were like, why is Insomniac actually saying this when Sony has had really strict PR and social media guidelines with their teams that has been reported that they have a gag order basically saying you do not talk about physical games and you don't talk about this issue at all on social media. It's why you haven't seen anyone say anything. But I guess in that gag order, Insomniac found a little bit of a loophole that said, you know what, we can say that we play Wolverine completely on the disc, even though a lot of CEOs like Zelnick over there at Take-Two has said, yeah, it's just not viable to put entire games on a disc. Yet here we are with Wolverine. And I get he meant bigger games, but I want to say that I think this is also one of the plans. They know that Wolverine, their first party game coming out since this announcement, is a very expensive game to make, and they need it to sell well. Soros hasn't sold well, and that's their other first party game that came out. And so they need Wolverine to kind of wrap up the fiscal year. And so they know that a lot of people are going to be protesting this. And I think it was kind of like a goodwill to the gamers. Like, yeah, of course we have disc and you could play the whole game on it. It just felt very opportunistic to say something like this. After all the backlash for a month and a half, Wolverine's about to come out. And so they announced all of these new little features, these little side panels that you could get for your PlayStation, all this physical stuff. And then they're like, by the way, it's all on the disc. It just feels a little bit too nice wrapped up in a little bow. And the funny thing is that GTA 6 to me is the next step in that. Because let's be real, all these things that's going on, it's about higher prices. It's about charging you, the gamer, more for what you're purchasing. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Strauss Zelnick has talked about how they have been having amazing pre-order numbers and how their game is just selling so well digitally. Now, let's see what he has to say. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick says more people are pre-ordering the Grand Theft Auto 6 $100 Ultimate Edition than the $80 Standard Edition. It is skewed more to the Premium Edition, but that might be a reflection, again, of the fact that the most avid consumers are the ones who are pre-ordering. And let's be real here. We all knew that was going to happen. Everybody pre-ordering the game right now is just so excited for it. They just wanted to pre-order it just to pre-order it. I don't understand why you pre-order digital games, honestly. It's not really my thing. And frankly, I don't really pre-order any game because I don't like pre-ordering games. You should never pre-order a game. You have to make sure that when it comes out, it feels good and it plays well. And that is why Steam reviews are so so valuable to gamers because somebody that has played them actually puts the information out there of like, this is what the game really is. And a lot of fans follow that completely. Steam reviews are extremely valuable. Yet, for GTA 6, we don't have those. We're going to just have forums because this game isn't launching on Steam. It's launching on PlayStation and Xbox, only consoles. And it's kind of funny that now that they're talking about all the sales, I understand that the CEO is hyping things up. He's making things more big than they are. And don't get me wrong, I think the pre-order sale numbers are insane, and I'm sure they're going to be insane. But the article actually mentions that even though all this greedy things are going on, and it's like a next level of greed between Take-Two and Sony and some of the other companies in the industry, here's an article talking about of how successful GTA has been even in its pre-order stage. GTA 6 might not technically be $100, but it's had its cake and ate it too, as pre-orders are skewing more to the premium edition. Grand Theft Auto 6's potential price point was a thing of much consternation in the lead up to its reveal. Months of rumors and even the Bank of America getting involved in the discourse, because why not, led to the question, are they really going to charge $100 for this thing? You're reading this article because they didn't. But you're also reading this article because sort of they did. See, GTA 6 has both an $80 version and a $100 version, and the latter of which hides some potentially major parts of its identity behind the upgrade, including a handful of stores that may very well remind you that you've not shelled out every time you go near them. There's this itchy capitalist feeling that Rockstar probably did actually want to charge a hundo for the thing, but didn't, because that have gamers up in arms. As it turns out, that might have been the smart play. In a recent interview with CNBC, Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Selznick basically says what I just read to you, that it's far more skewed towards the $100 version. And yeah, again, another systematic play where they have the $80 version but have a $100 version because they know more people are going to buy that $100 version. And this isn't something new. Take-Two has been doing this for a little while with NBA. They charge more money for NBA, and the top one, the like $100, $110, $120 versions, always sell more than the previous versions, or the ones below that, the tier below that. Everybody always buys the more expensive one. So they think, man, we're just charging $100 for GTA 6, our biggest game, so it's a bargain. And Strauss Selznick has said that GTA 6 is a bargain comparatively to other games because Take-Two and Rockstar always exceed expectations of its customers. So they feel completely comfortable charging that much money. And if you don't believe me, it could have been a higher price. This is what this article has to say. GTA 6 could have had an even higher price as a $100 edition proves popular. Take-Two boss Strauss Selznick has acknowledged that the company could have charged more for Grand Theft Auto 6, but it declined to do so to ensure pricing felt fair. He also shared new insight into how GTA 6 pre-orders are going so far, saying they're skewing towards the $100 edition early on. Speaking on CNBC, he said most people felt that Take-Two had a great deal of pricing power and could leverage the monumental demand for GTA 6 to charge a higher price to consumers. However, Selznick said Take-Two decided against this based on its desire to deliver way more value to the customer than what we charged. He went on to say that the company did not want the game's price point to be out of reach for people. Prior to release, there were numerous headlines about how much GTA 6 might cost, with some saying it even deserved to be $100 based on what is expected to offer. And the end, Take-Two and Rockstar settled on $80 price tag, and then the $100 edition for a premium version with many digital extras. Now, let's be real. The Bank of America thing is basically stakeholders and everybody just was really annoyed that they didn't charge more money. Think about that for a second. The stakeholders were mad at Take-Two, who is actually being exceptionally greedy and doing a lot of things that we have never seen before, like Netflix exclusive, ads, and you have to pay to watch the ad. Crazy. All of those things, they're still annoyed that it wasn't higher. This is what's going on in gaming. Gaming isn't the cool thing where everybody just makes a dope game and people just enjoy it and they're just aiming for a certain audience. It's not like that anymore. Gaming has been absolutely taken over by corporate people in a suit that really want to charge as much money and bleed as much out of you without you actually owning anything. How much money can we get out of them without them actually owning anything? That's what's going on here. And I know we've talked about this ad nauseum, but every time I go on social media or I want to look up some gaming news to talk about something, it's always GTA 6 and Sony doing something that completely undermines what gamers actually want. And don't get me wrong, I know GTA is going to be a great game. I mean, every single one has been a great game technically, at least in my mind. Every single one I've played, I've loved. But right now it's getting a little ridiculous that every time that we talk about GTA 6, there's always something else going like, we could have charged more. You know what? This is a bargain. You should be thankful that you're paying $100. In fact, you should be thankful that it's only digital. And in fact, we're gonna move over to cloud one day and you should be thankful for that. You're gonna experience this game, GTA 6, and you're gonna be thankful. That's what it feels like. It's almost as if they're doing us a favor. It's almost as if gamers should be so happy to punch out $100 to them no matter what. And I'm gonna tell you right now, they're not talking about GTA Online. Nope. And that Jason Schreier, a bunch of other people mentioned that they're not even close to talking about it. And I'm sure it might launch maybe a month after the game comes out, maybe. But what I think they're waiting for is to break the news slowly. People understand how good the single player is and they like it. And then start breaking the news that there's going to be so many microtransactions in that thing. So many. It's going to be egregious, because they're going to try to make as much money out of that as they can, especially with the player base they create. That thing is going to be insane. And in fact, I have a feeling that it's going to be a subscription-based thing, where you have to pay a subscription to be on GTA, much like World of Warcraft, an MMO subscription, because that game is so big and so popular that they just might get away with it. And I hope they don't, because that's what I see down the pipeline. I see GTA Online maybe need a subscription. I see them trying to show us that we should be so thankful that the price point's 100. I mean, you're going to get so much. Be thankful. In reality, they're trying to make people feel comfortable spending this much money on a video game. Feel comfortable spending money on a subscription for an ad. Feel comfortable opening up your wallet for games. That's at the end of the day what they're trying to do. And it's all these companies working together to do that. Now, I know I sound doom and gloom, and I get it. I completely get it, but it's really hard not to put all these things together and look at all the articles and all the things being talked about and not think, man, this just seems like a big ploy and a big plot that they're trying to do. And David Jaffe and a bunch of other people have said it's not a big ploy in this like crazy evil plan. They're just popping champagne because there's digital. Well, if they're popping champagne, that means they're doing something that they can get more money out of, because the only reason these corporate people actually pop champagne is because they're going to meet their numbers, make more money, and that's all they care about is the money. They don't care about the art. They don't care about the gamer. They don't care about anything else. They care that they can make money. And don't get me wrong, GTA 6 is going to make a lot of money. We all know that. But I just want to know, how far in the greed pothole can we fall into before gamers finally go, you know what? I'm good. I'm going to walk away from this. I don't need to spend this much money, because everybody I know so far is going to buy that game. Full force they are. Even people talking about buying a console just to play it. I know people in the industry that have said they bought a PS5 Pro mainly for GTA 6 so they can play it at the best fidelity. That's how bad this is. And all those people justify it by saying, well, I'll get Wolverine and all these other games on there. But let's be real. People are going to spend money on this, and it's going to be a turning point for gaming. And I just want gamers to know that we did it to ourselves, and we're watching this happen in front of us. And you know what? Maybe that's fine. Maybe things will be great and we get better games, but I just feel like we're going down a dangerous road. And I feel like other publishers are going to try to follow and fall flat on their face, man. At least I hope they do. So let me know what you think down below, because I truly want to know what gamers think. Let me know, do you think that GTA 6 is going a little too far? Do you think Sony's going too far by making all these things happen and getting sued by Stop Killing Games? All the stuff that's going on right now just seems insane. It seems like the gaming industry is just in this drama zone, just having a difficult time trying to understand what they're going to do next. And they're trying to navigate this thing with keeping gamers happy, but also exploiting them. It's the weirdest thing. It's like Inception of games or something. I don't even know. You let me know down below what you think. And if you like the video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, helps out the channel more than you know. You can also follow me on Twitter at Zalker87, always on there talking games, sharing the latest articles, and of course, sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so hopefully you can follow me on there. And you can follow me on Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam, Zalker87, always on there playing games, currently playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Jumped into a little bit of Apex Legends lately, having a good time. And I just saw the Lord of the Rings War of the North drop, that old game from the PS3, Xbox 360 era. Oh my, I have to get that, man. That's my childhood. That is something that I can't wait to play, and it just launched on Steam, so I'm probably going to grab it there. we'll see where that goes, because that game was so fun back in the day. RPG mechanics, online co-op, so good. So good. Hopefully it's good. I don't know how the port is. Hopefully it's good. And you can find me live every Friday, 4:30 Pacific Standard Time on this channel. I do a live stream, solo stream, talking and chatting and reacting to all the news going on, listening to the chat, seeing what you guys think about the industry. And honestly, a lot of you have really good takes during that live stream. Makes me rethink how I look at things. So it's a lot of fun interacting with everyone there. So hopefully I can catch you there live. And that's all for now. And until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.